And on this video, we're taking a look at what I believe is probably the smallest dashcam out there, the Cieve C200. And this thing is tiny, but still packs a screen, 5 GHz Wi-Fi for faster video downloads. It can also function as a cabin camera and has parking monitoring capabilities. And on this video, I'm gonna walk you through the features of it, as well as show you driving video. That way you can decide if this is the right dashcam for you. And I've placed a link in the description down below to this dashcam if you'd like to get one for yourself. And this thing is tiny, definitely the smallest dashcam I have tested on the channel yet, and I think that's pretty cool, especially since they managed to pack a screen on it. Now the screen measures less than 1.5 inches in size, so I can't wait to see what that looks like. And on the right hand side there is a memory card bay. They already included 64 gigabytes memory card for us to get started with. However, this can be upgraded all the way up to 256 gigabytes of memory. Power comes in the form of USB-C connector, and there is a power button on the left hand side. And for power, we get this automotive adapter, which does have an extra USB port on the back. That way we can power both the dashcam and something else. And for mounting, I'm gonna go ahead and peel this back, and I can place this on my windshield. But here's where it gets really interesting. The view is adjustable. You can move this up and down. However, this also can separate from the windshield. And because this thing can turn completely around, now you're able to mount the dashcam facing the cabin of the vehicle in case you wanted cabin view instead of a front view. And again, you have complete control over adjusting the view angle. And the screen, to be this small, is actually surprisingly sharp, so I can definitely tell where the dashcam is aimed at. There's a tiny little indicator that we know we are recording with that red blinking dot, and also some indicators for the microphone being enabled, the resolution we're on, and also date and time information. And if you recall, there is a button on the left side. Tapping that button is gonna flag and protect that section of the video that's being recorded as important, and you can see that that red blinking dot switched over to a yellow blinking dot. Now the other interesting thing is the orientation, which is automatic on this dashcam, and by that I mean this. Notice the street right now. The screen shows the correct orientation and we're facing the front of the vehicle. Notice what happens if I flip the dashcam upside down. The orientation is still correct even though the dashcam is upside down. Now the reason why this is very important is because of this. If we are recording the front of the vehicle and all of a sudden you decide that you need to get cabin video, the image technically would be upside down because I turned the camera upside down. However, because the camera does have that orientation sensor, the image is gonna show correct even though it's facing the cabin of the vehicle, and that's a great idea that they built that in. And the app is called GKU Go, and with this we can access the dashcam settings and also the videos that are on the dashcam. Notice that we get a live view coming from it, and with this icon right here you can enlarge that view, and there's also a couple different controls. That allows you to stop the recording, and resume recording again. Then there's this icon that allows you to take a picture. And finally you got this icon right here that allows you to mute the microphone or re-enable audio recording. And to get to the video files, that is under camera file. And as you can see, the videos have been sorted out into 3 folders. The very first one is called Loop. That is normal video, potentially us just driving around. Then you have Snapshot. This is for pictures. And then you have the Lock folder. And the Lock folder is gonna contain any important video flagged by you or by the dashcam as important. And let's take a look at the Snapshot folder. And here is that picture that we took earlier. And I could just look at the picture right here. Or if I wanted to, I could download a copy to my phone or delete it. But let's go ahead and play back a video. Let's gonna go ahead and tap this one right here. And the video is playing, streaming from the dashcam to our phone. And you can do a couple things. You can enlarge it if you wanted to see it on a bigger screen. Or if you wanted to save a copy to your phone, you would use the download option, or you could just take a screenshot of that video or you could delete it. But let's download a video because I want to show you something interesting that happens. When you download a video, notice that the video was originally a TS file video. After it's downloaded, the app is gonna change that file from a TS file to an MP4 file. That way it can play back on most video players. And now that the video file is on our phone, we can go back to the main menu, and under album, the file is stored locally and is also in an MP4 format. But let's go ahead and take a look at the dashcam settings with that gear icon. The first option is going to be whether you want sound to be recorded by default or not, and also the speaker volume can be adjusted in case you don't want to have it so loud. And for video resolution, we get two choices, 4K or 2.5K. Also notice that you can change some of the watermarks. The time watermark can be disabled, and also you can adjust the clock format and also the date format. Here's also where you can turn off the auto rotation of the dashcam. If you recall, when you turn the dashcam upside down, it knows how to correct the image. If for some reason you don't want the dashcam to do that, you can turn it off right here. Now there is also a G sensor, and that is found under collision setting, and this can help the dashcam to detect when you get into a car crash, and you have some adjustability in as far as how sensitive you want that sensor to be. Also notice that you can choose to have the screen of the dashcam turn off after a period of time while the dashcam continues to record in the background. And for languages, there is actually quite a bit of languages in here to choose from in case you wanted to change that. Also notice that here is where you can enable or disable the 5 GHz Wi-Fi, which can give you faster download speeds. And parking mode is also on this menu. Now it does require the optional hardwire kit, and it has a couple options. The first one is going to be collision detection, meaning that if somebody impacts the vehicle, the dashcam is going to wake up and make a record of it, and you can adjust how sensitive you want that sensor to be. Now, the other thing that you can do with this is enable a time-lapse function. Now, a time-lapse function can allow the dashcam to make a record of a long period of time, 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, or up to a 72-hour time-lapse. And if you decide to use time-lapse for parking monitoring, you are able to adjust the frame rate of it. Now, if you select 1 frame per second, the dashcam is going to take 1 picture every second when it's on that time-lapse mode. However, if you select 5 frames per second, even though the file is going to be a little bit larger, the time-lapse is going to be smoother, and you're going to have more detail than if you select 1 frame per second for time-lapse for parking monitoring. Well, now that I've shown you the features of this dashcam, let's go ahead and take a look at some driving video. And this is an audio test of the Cieve C200 dashcam, and I am sitting on the driver's side seat. And this is an audio test of the Cieve C200 dashcam, and I'm standing outside the driver's side door. Now there is one thing that could be better. This dashcam records on TS file format, and some dashcams also use the TS file format, and I'm able to get the video right off the memory card and play it back on my computer using something like VLC player or my editing software. However, when I downloaded the videos right off the memory card to my PC, even though they're TS files, I was not able to play them back. They either will freeze or will come out kind of choppy. And I contacted Cieve about that, and it turns out that they actually recommend using a player called Pod Player. Now, I'm not familiar with that player. Apparently, it's a player kind of similar to VLC, and that can allow you to play back the videos if you're getting them right off the memory card. The other way, as you saw when I demoed the app, is to download them from the dashcam to your phone, because it takes those files and makes them from a a TS file into an MP4 file. And then if you wanted to get them from the phone to your PC, now they're MP4 files which can play normally. I know it's an extra step to go from Dashcam to app to PC, so maybe it'd be worth to look into that Pod Player app. And Cieve D told me that they are looking into future hardware or firmware upgrades, which could probably eliminate that issue and allow that TS file format to work a little better without having to download a specific player or without having to go through the app to the phone and then to the PC. That being said, I do think that there's a tremendous potential for tiny little dashcams, and I think we are just beginning to see the market tap into something so tiny. As you know, I always recommend running a dual independent dashcam setup for redundancy. That way, if one of your dashcams fails, there is another one that's recording, and I think that's where dashcams like this that are very affordable definitely can work as a backup dashcam. And now you can have your very expensive, very fancy dashcam with all the bells and whistles, and then you can purchase something like this, place it in the car as the backup dashcam, either recording the front or the cabin. And you could also do it the other way around. You could start with this dashcam right now, again, because it doesn't break the bank, and later on, if you decide you need additional channels for more coverage, if you want GPS capabilities so you can record your speed and coordinates, then you can look at another dashcam down the road, and you'll have that dual dashcam setup with this C200 complementing it. So remember, I put a link to this dashcam in the description down below, and if you guys have any other questions regarding this, please put that in the comments also. If you found any part of this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button to support the channel, and stay tuned as I have a lot more dashcam reviews coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.